Hello everyone, and today we are back for another top 5 video, and we're going to be talking about the top 5 new Loomians from the last 2 events. This is counting the Halloween and Christmas event, and this will only count encounters, so my mask and Yaga counts, but not Lashent and Thalman. So with that out of the way, let's head right onto this list. So, number 5 onto this list is going to be Boss. Now, Boss might be on the bottom of the list, but this thing is actually still pretty good. This is the only Loomian in the game right now that has Battle Chime. And after a Battle Chime, you are up to +6 melee attack, which is amazing. This thing also has very good abilities like Ravenous. Ravenous is awesome because you can actually get rid of positive stat boost from the opposing Loomian, which is massive. It also has a pretty good speed stat in 95. But the biggest flaw with Boss is, one, it doesn't have any healing moves, so it can't really heal its health back. So after you use a Battle Chime, you're down to half health and you can't get that health back. And also, you only have 95 speed. And while that is a pretty good speed stat, there is often a Loomian that can outspeed you on the other person's team that will revenge kill your Boss. Not to mention, this thing is also weak to Brawler, meaning that you are weak to Quick Punch priority, which does suck. This thing is still pretty good, but it also does need a little bit of melee attack investment because at +6, it can't even KO some Loomians. It can't KO Cephalops, it can't KO Seer Knight, and it can't KO Barblast. So you do gotta be careful about this Loomian. But overall, this thing is pretty fun to use, and this thing can be pretty powerful if you're not careful. That's why it's on the list. Number 4 onto this list is going to be very weird. It's Yaga. And the reason why it is weird is because I kind of don't know how to rank Yaga. Some people call this a stall breaker. Other people use this as a offensive, bulky offensive Loomian, which I can't speak today, I'm sorry. But some people use this as a stall breaker. Other people use this as bulky offense. I used it as a boots Loomian. I kind of don't know what Yaga does its best at, because it has amazing coverage. But it also has Scapegoat. But it also has melee attacks. Is it good as a mixed attacker? Is it good as a boots Loomian? Is it good as a stall breaker? This thing also has Provoke, has decent melee defense, means it can still hits on the melee side really well. But that's the problem with Yaga. It kind of has too much, but it doesn't really excel at everything. It only has 71 speed, so it can be exploited pretty easily. It doesn't have the highest melee attack, so even if you want to run a melee move to hit range tanks, it won't do that much more. And while it does have good coverage moves, those often doesn't do as much damage as the Mind type moves. Which is good because your Mind type attacks are boosted by Hag, which is good. But overall, it does struggle a lot. Even then, though, this thing is still a very good Loomian because of its awesome coverage, and the fact that it also has stall breaking capabilities. Number 3 onto this list is going to be My Mask. My Mask does rank pretty high because of its skill swap ability. This thing can literally become another type, which is amazing. And it also has good coverage moves. It can place barbs, and it has a very fast speed stat in 113. And while a lot of people don't know what the best set for My Mask is yet, the fact that it has 113 speed means that it is a lot easier to use, and the fact that it also has fadeaway pivot makes it really good to use as well. This thing also has barbs, so you can change to a metal type if you want to after placing a set of barbs, which is kind of funny. You could also run Baneful Bash, so you can't get poisoned, and you can even run Harrow to poison the opposing Loomians, which is awesome. And this thing hits pretty hard. Has 117 melee attack and 107 ranged attack, so you can run moves on both sides. You can run Shrewd Blast to hit up Sidragon super effectively. Heck, you could even run Mud Spatter to lower the opposing Loomian's speed. There are a lot of different sets you can actually run on My Mask, and it can do very well. The biggest flaw is that it is really frail, but it kinda doesn't matter when you have that fast speed stat. And heck, you could even run Specialty Boots and outspeed every Boots Loomian in all of Loomian Legacy. So yeah, My Mask is awesome and it deserves to be in the top 3. Number 2 onto this list is going to be Chey. Chey is awesome, and it's the best out of all the Christmas Loomians. This thing is awesome. It has Brawn Boost, it has Radiant Rush, it has Solar Punch, and it has 115 speed. That's even faster than My Mask. Not to mention, with Sharp Claws, it actually increases your damage even more, which makes Chey even better. This is the ultimate late game sweeper. I don't think there are any better late game cleaners other than Cheyenne. Maybe other than Drudge Aklos, maybe? And I guess Boots Helvantic could do some work as well. But other than that, I think Cheyenne is the best out of the late game sweepers. Mainly because it hits hard, has good coverage, and it's really fast. You can run this with Brawny Nimble, very brawny, and you can even run a Brawn Boost priority set. Yes, this thing has Light Dash and Quick Pounce, meaning you can actually run Brawn Boost double priority if you want. This thing is nuts. It hits really hard, and while it is frail, it's nowhere near as frail as my mask, meaning that it can actually soak hits a little bit better. And while it is quad weak to metal, which does suck, its defensive typing doesn't really matter for a Loomian that is used as a late game cleaner. This thing is awesome. And if it had a little bit more melee attack, it would probably be number 1 on the list. But despite that, this thing is amazing, and this will probably be a future OU Loomian. Honorable mentions on this list, and the 2 honorable mentions I will talk about is Thawmin and Lashent. The reason why I didn't add them onto the list is because you don't actually get them as new Loomians in the event. They were a Halloween Kabunga and a Christmas Cradle before they became this form. You just gotta trade them to other people to get them. That's why I didn't count them on the list. If they were on the list, I think Thawmin would be number 5, below Oda Yaga, but above Krampus, while Lashent would be 7. The reason why Thawmin's really good is because it has Foresight, which is very good priority. So that's why it is number 5, and it is pretty high. But the reason why Lashent would be at the bottom is because it doesn't have a very good defensive typing. It's quad weak to Bug and Fire, which does make it suffer a little bit. Despite that, though, Lashent does have Fade Away, and it also has very good coverage. So this thing can be used really well. The fact that it's number 7 and it's still really good makes Lashent awesome. The best Loomian on this list is going to be Morra. And Morra is the reason I wanted to make this top 5, because I haven't talked about Morra yet. This thing is amazing. Looking back at my top 20 Loomians list, this probably could have been on the list. Maybe even in the top 15, this thing is really good. It has an amazing defensive typing in Spirit Metal, has Shatter. Shatter is awesome. Not only is it a move that can do damage, but it can also place barbs on the other side. And since it's an attacking move, it can actually be used over other provoking Loomians. So you can actually place your barbs without getting provoked. This even works over Regift, which is amazing. Not to mention, this thing also has coverage. It has Baffle. It has Reflection Burst, which means it hits pretty hard. And it has Priority. This thing has so much. This thing even has Fade Away and Dark Surge if you really want to use it. And you could use the Analyze set to get your melee and ranged attack even higher. But the best set to run is Reflective. This makes you not only immune to Brawler, but immune to Light. Meaning this thing can wall Tyrannic sets that don't have Spirit type attacks. This thing is awesome. It's one of the best range tanks in all of Loomian Legacy, and it deserves number 1 on the list. And here it is, Morra. The best Loomian at it from the last couple events. This thing is awesome. And this was the reason I made the list. I wanted to talk about Morra because I don't see many people talk about this Loomian. And since I didn't talk about it in my top 20, I'll talk about Morra now. Hope you guys enjoyed this top 5 list. And I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!